Well, welcome to Willow Talk. We're actually recording this of the evening after the Dutch pulled off one of the great victories. And the man that's about to join us, wherever you're listening, well, he's a superstar. Played cricket for Western Australia, played cricket for Australia, invented the ramp shot, and now he's entrenched in the Dutch team after they've just knocked off Zimbabwe. He's still at the ground. Ryan Campbell, what a day. What a day for Dutch cricket, my friend.
Sorry, Howie. I might have one here just to enjoy it. Obviously winning in the Super 12 part of the World Cup is obviously a big feat for the Dutch, and it was a fantastic day. I thought, from the outset, our bowlers set the tone, and we got over the line, which is fantastic, and the boys are pretty happy with themselves.
In my mind, I know it's stereotypes, but I hope you're drinking Heinekens, you're eating those raw herrings, and maybe some chips with mayonnaise on them, as the Dutchies tend to do, and celebrating. I know there's still a game to come, mate, but it was fantastic because Zimbabwe was still looking to qualify for the semi-finals, but your bowlers, as they have done throughout the tournament, really set you up, mate. Congratulations.
Yeah, thanks, Howie. Look, I thought we were actually going to bowl first, and when we lost the toss and Zimbabwe said, let's bat, it was like, oh, okay, because there was quite a nice grass coverage on the wicket, and it's the first time they've used the wicket, and it has been under covers for quite a while with all the weather around. But again, even with the conditions, you got to set the tone, and I thought Freddie Klassen and Paul Van Meekeren did that up front, and Brandon Glover was gun as well. So we put pressure on the Zimbabwe batsmen, and we knew if we could get into the middle order, that was the key. We know Raza is a gun and Williams and those sort of guys, but we thought if we could just get through that early and make them bat against the new ball, we're a big chance in the game. And look, I think our bowlers have been gun the whole tournament. All the stuff that's gone on, getting us here. Our batting hasn't quite fired, which is a bit of a shame, but end of the day, again, bowlers led the way. And getting over the line, getting 2 points in a World Cup fixture, mate, you can't take it away. You got to appreciate it. You got to celebrate it. I'm not sure about the raw herring though, Howie. It's one of the things I hate the most about the Dutch, but things you got to put up with.
Maxi O'Dowd was fantastic, player of the match. He made 50. Good to see Tommy Cooper getting some runs on his home ground. But I want to stick to the positives, but one big negative, Cambo. I've been travelling around the country and I've been enjoying the work of Timmy Pringle. He's become a cult hero of the show. And I said to Hadj yesterday, finally, I get to have a chat to Cambo. I get to see my man Timmy Pringle in action. I get to the ground and the young superstar of Dutch cricket is not in the 11, Cambo. What is going on there? Obviously it worked because you won, but I wanted to see Timmy in action.
Well, Howie, I can safely say between you and me, mate, I'm no longer a selector. I'm just here for having a good time. So I can't tell you why he was got left out. But look, he's been fantastic this tour. Look, again, young boy coming through the ranks, trying to find his way at international cricket, which is fantastic. Again, we've spoken so much about Bas de Leede, who's obviously had a pretty good World Cup despite getting his face filled in. And I'm sure all the ladies back in Voorburg were very upset and worried about what was going on with his face. But, the scars will heal. But, look, the future of Dutch cricket are youngsters like Tim Pringle, Bas de Leede, Vikram Singh, Shariz Ahmed, who he didn't play today as well. Our bowling attack is all quite young. Freddie, Paul, they're only 27, 28 years of age. Brandon Glover's 24, 25. So I think there's a big future in Dutch cricket. And again, I'm saying that as almost like a proud father, handing over the reins and leaving it. I look forward to seeing what comes next for them, to be honest. I really think that we're at a stage of our cricket where I think we're not out of our depth when we play against the best teams. And again, I'm saying that after we got knocked over by Pakistan for 90, but let me be honest, 4 blokes bowling 145 kilometres an hour on the fastest bounces wicket in the world, probably not fun for anyone. So in the end of the day, I think it's been okay. Another big test obviously comes up against South Africa in a couple of days' time.
You mentioned Bas de Leede, and I was in commentary when he came out to bat tonight. Sitting alongside Dirk Nannes. And straight away I said to him, right, how many balls till they bowl him a short one? And I think it took 3 balls till they bowled him a short one, and it was wide down the leg side by Luke Jongwe. But did you have a chat to him at all, Cambo? Because he's hit in the head by Haris Rauf at 145 kilometres an hour. Obviously a tough man, and it was great to see him out there. But you would imagine it's in the back of his mind somewhere that it's coming again.
Oh, no doubt. And, James Hilditch, who's, the great assistant coach that we have here, mate, he literally tested him out in the nets yesterday and, made sure that he was happy with it. But the thing is, I reckon when that happens, it's coming. It's almost, it's coming. The greatest shame for me, I was actually sitting next to your man, Tim Pringle, and said to him, I hope first ball they bounce him, because if they get it on the money, he's going to hit it for 6, I've no doubt. And then no one's ever going to do it again. But again, it was wide down the leg side. But if you had a close look, he was actually inside it in position. He was going to take that on. And obviously it was wide down the leg side. So look, this game is tough, Howie. We play an elite sport with the best players on the planet coming here. And there is no place to hide now with the analyst systems and all that. Everyone has a printout of exactly what you've got. Everyone saw the footage. Everyone knows, okay, we're going to try and bounce him to see if he's okay. And that's the great part of our game. You're going to be tested to the fullest. And, I thought he stood up pretty well. He bowled brilliantly again today and fielded. He's still smiling. He's got a bit of a scar, but, he'll battle on.
I'm fascinated, Cambo, and I know, knowing you, as I've been lucky enough to do for 15 years now, that you're a man that always generated great team spirit when you played cricket, and when we've worked together, you're always up and you're a positive man. But like I was talking about your team today, and Timmy Pringle, his father played for New Zealand. He grows up in Holland. He's playing for Holland. Tommy Cooper out there batting today. He's played 70-odd first-class games for South Australia. I think it's typified by your skipper about how international you are. Scotty Edwards, born in Tonga, grows up playing cricket in Victoria, won the Ryder medal in the Premier Comp, and now because of his grammar, he's the captain of the Netherlands. How do you bring all these internationals together and put together a national team that obviously has so much spirit about it?
Well, when I was sort of in charge, I made sure we all sat in a room, had a beer together. That was for one. But look, the facts are everyone is brought together here by their Dutch heritage. And no matter how far-stretched it is, yes, do we have the same passion singing than the national anthem as Scotland or in Nepal or someone like that? 50-50, but all the guys love their country. They love playing for the Netherlands. Our county boys who aren't allowed away from their counties during the summer, unfortunately, that's part of it, but they do their best to try and come and play as often as they can. They want to play international cricket, but look, they're the cards that we had. And again, over my 5.5 years, I've made sure that any future Dutch player has to come to the Netherlands and play cricket in the Netherlands. They have to put in, they have to, give back to the game, so to speak, and make our competition better and live the life of a Dutchie. And, they all get in there. They love it, mate. They're as Dutch can be. And that's the thing. And I reckon winning games of cricket, it bonds you. And I think this group has been bonded for the last 5.5 years, and we're in a pretty good space. Of course, when you come to a World Cup and you qualify and you go through the Super 12, no one likes losing. No one has fun losing games. And, everyone could say to us, oh, yeah, but you made the Super 12, you walk away. But this group doesn't want to do that. We want to win games of cricket. The most disappointed I've ever been with this squad was after the Bangladesh game, because we played so poorly in a game where I reckon Bangladesh were there for the taking. They had just arrived. They hadn't really played a game yet. They weren't suited by the conditions. We knocked over the top order. That to me, and even though we bowled okay, we actually started the game really poorly. We didn't bowl well at all to start with. That game there is probably the most disappointed I've been with the Dutch outfit for a long time. And they took that on the chin. They understood that. And here we are, within a week, beating another full member who got outplayed on the day, which, obviously makes me pretty happy.
And take us into the rooms afterwards after a Dutch win, Cambo. Is there a singing of a song or is there a spraying? Oh, yeah, well, you actually show me the rooms now. So, the boys are in there, which is fantastic.
Mate, there is a fantastic song that we've brought in over the last 4 or 5 years. I will send you a video of it. It's actually, before anyone tells you, it's obviously a rip-off of the Richmond Tigerland song, the orange and blue, like it's in the past.
Orange and blue. Well, send it through so we can play it on the show. That'd be great. Talk about well worth listening to. We had the pleasure of Cambo joining us on the Howie Games, where he talked about, and go back and listen to the episode because there's some really important messages in there about heart health, and Cambo in many ways is lucky to be with us. This is not the format to talk about that, but the other thing you spoke about in that with great passion, Cambo, was the non-traditional cricket nations, for want of a better term. I don't want to call them associate nations because you've all proved for this tournament you deserve your spot in a World Cup. And I know it's something very close to your heart, the developing nations making an impact at tournaments like this.
Mate, absolutely. The future of the game, we all know, the big three get all the cash, and rightly so. They obviously do a great game. But I think for us, it's our duty to leave the game in a better place than when it started. And to do that, you need to grow the game. And we all know the traditional the 12 full members, and again, that's Afghanistan and Ireland included in that, and they're growing the game in their countries. But I think we have an obligation to build places that we have not really been before.
Yeah.
The USA, Nepal, Scotland, Namibia, us. They're great stories, and we probably haven't been given enough opportunity. And I know the fixtures lists every year are extremely busy. I understand that, but somehow we need to grow the game. And for instance, if someone comes on tour, they're going to go to England, maybe they should be dropping into the Netherlands and playing their warm-up games instead of playing a crappy county team who has no interest in playing.
Yeah.
Come in, play the Netherlands, play Scotland. That's the only way that we're going to get forward with the game. And like I say, there are so many countries out there. Mate, if you ever go have an opportunity, go to Nepal and watch a game of cricket there and watch the passion and the fans and the absolute raucousness of it all. Mate, it is so much fun. And that's where we want to take the game. We want to take it to places we've never been before.
Yeah, it's funny you say that because your man Paul Van Meekeren was talking to me before the game, and he said he's played in Nepal in the Everest T20, and he said when the home side plays, people absolutely everywhere. So it's great to see this full multicultural approach to cricket. Hey, mate, I don't want to hold you up because I know I'm stopping you from a Heineken or two there. Quickly, to tomorrow's game, Pakistan, you've seen them up close. They take on South Africa. Who do you think wins that one?
Mate, whatever happens, I'm telling you, it's the two best bowling attacks in world cricket going at it. I'm going to say a bit selfishly, I thought South Africa were one of my teams that I thought could win it. And I know I'm just waiting for that South African massive mess up at some point, which they normally do in World Cups. But I think Riley Rosso has changed that team and their batting because of what he's been doing at number 3. But their bowling is gone. So I know I'm avoiding the question a little bit here. I still think South Africa are favourites to win. But, mate, I'm not surprised if Pakistan come out. And if they're playing here, the Adelaide Oval is as bouncy and as fresh as I've ever seen it. And, again, I know that there's India and Bangladesh going on in the background. But, mate, the bounce, the fast bowlers are going to love it. So, again, yeah, it's going to be a wonderful game of cricket. And also the results of, obviously, England, New Zealand, I reckon Australia are done. And, that's, again, I know I don't want to sound like a guy who's saying this after the fact, but I actually didn't pick Australia to come in the semi-finals. I just thought they were tinkering way too much with their T20 team leading into a big tournament. Again, they may make it, don't get me wrong, but it's not a surprise where they're at, I reckon.
Yeah, they've got it all to do now. Just as we let you go, Cambo, if you had to tip someone to win the World Cup, who are you thinking?
Mate, again, I'm still not going past South Africa. I would love to see the New Zealand as well. I think the Kiwis are still a really, really good team. So, look, the 4 teams that are going to make it, you would think South Africa, India, New Zealand, who am I missing out? England. I reckon, wow, anyone can win that in the day. But again, I'm going to stick with South Africa. I just think their bowling and what they've got with the aggression with the bat, I think they're going to get over the line.
You're a star, Cambo. I appreciate you taking time out of the dressing room to have a chat with us on Willow Talk. Well done to you and your Dutch brothers, mate. Sing the song, send it through, and I hope to see you crew around really soon. Great to see you smiling, fit and healthy, brother.
Thanks, Mark.
As Ryan Campbell dominating. Hope you enjoyed this episode of Willow Talk. Up next tomorrow, from one star to the next, Mark Waugh is wandering in. Hope you enjoyed the show. Have a great day. Give your mum a hug. Peace.